Hey guys, it's Spacer Sims, and we are back with more Butterflies Poison. We are going to finish Hideo's route today. We already technically finished it, but this is the final chapter kind of thing after the credits. It's purple because I accidentally, when I was going to save, clicked the advance button and went to the next thing. So it's fine. It's okay. I backtracked. It's okay. But anyway, yeah. So we'll get his ending in this part. So this is all just gonna be fluff. So a few years later, I've had enough. Spacey's loud cry echoes in the jungle. Wow, the music. Look. Her hysterical screech makes Hideo, who's been preparing for bed in silence, jump and stare at her with round eyes. Whoa, what is it? What happened? I want to go home. To Japan. What are you talking about? This island belongs to Japan. Oh, don't you dare pull that card on me! This island is practically a foreign country! Most of the natives here hardly speak Japanese! We've got an interpreter with us, so what's the problem? The natives in this remote region can't speak Japanese simply because formal education hasn't reached them yet. If you go to the larger town... That's not even the problem here! What I'm trying to say is that I want to go back to the mainland. It's a bit too late for you to be asking that now. The next ship will come in a month. No, just no! I'll swim back home if I have to! This is literally how life is sometimes, where you're just like, I'm just fed up, and I'm just, instead of being like, you know what? I think I've decided that I want to go home. It's more like, that's it! I can't! Because you just push your tolerance to the point where you just snap like this. I do. And don't be reckless, and please stop being selfish. Really? Well, your selfishness is to blame for my predicament, Hideo. You and your selfishness dragged me to this place. It's humid here. I'm not used to any of the food. There are snakes, spiders, all kinds of weird insects. You name it. Ugh, I've had enough. Macy continues to rattle off, venting the anger she's been keeping bottled up inside until today. As a matter of fact, she and Hideo are currently on an island located far in the south of the mainland. The research team is comprised of 7 people, including Hideo and Spacey. Oh, that's true, because he wanted to become a bird researcher. We're looking for wild birds. It's so cute. They've set up tents in the corner of a native settlement, studying the habits of the local birds on the island in hopes of discovering new species. After graduating from college, Hideo did a lot of studies on birds and established his own avian research institute. That's adorable! We were trying to be... I'm going to give us points for trying to be supportive until we snapped. We tried. In addition to daily research, he's also involved in the study of bird behavior in various places. Sometimes he even has to leave the mainland to discover new species, such as what he's doing now. If there's anything that differentiates Hideo from other researchers, it's that his wife Spacey always accompanies him wherever he goes. At first, the rest of their research team could only shake their heads and smile sympathetically whenever the couple would bicker. It didn't take them long to get used to the couple's arguments, though, because they fight all the time. I love that we fight all the time, but there is nobody in the world we love more than this bastard. Not that Spacey tags along because she wants to, mind you. In fact, she always makes sure to refuse whenever Hideo wants her to go with him. However, his fervent aspirations always win in the end, and she ends up traipsing after him. So cute. But this trip, it's tested her sanity, and her patience is wearing very, very thin. The island doesn't even have adequate facilities to help the people live comfortably. Frankly, Spacey has gone way beyond her normal gauge of tolerance. This Spacey also feels beyond her normal gauge of tolerance if there's no actual, indoor plumbing or shit. No, I gotta live in a tent, I'm out. It's like camping. I love birds, Hideo, and I love you, but I don't do camping, okay? I beg you, please find a new species soon, and let's go home early. I can't just pull out of thin air. Pull one. Oh, pull one. I was like, what? I can't just pull one out of thin air on command. Please, just be patient. Did you know that while you and the other researchers are out there working during the day, I'm cooped up here all the time? I can't speak with the natives, and there's nothing for me to do, Hideo! But you seem to be doing quite well. I know you've been helping the people harvest the crops. Oh, and I was surprised to hear you had a tree climbing showdown against the local kids. That is great. That's because climbing trees is practically the only activity I can do! There really is nothing else that a dainty lady like me can enjoy on this island. Dainty lady? When have we ever even described ourselves like that? He's gonna bust out laughing. I believe dainty ladies don't normally climb trees, though. Ugh! You're such a cruel man! Oh, my poor baby. I wonder what he's doing right now. You don't have to worry about Suichi. My mother's looking after him. Oh my god, do we have kids? I was seriously wondering, like, we need to leave because I'm pregnant. But, like, we have a baby. I don't like that. I don't like it when they put kids in my thing, but, like I feel like I should. It should be like, oh, a day was a death. That's kind of adorable, actually. But, like, no, don't ruin my life like that. Like, I'm so child averse that when they put it in games, I'm like, no, you ruined it. Like, I want to on principle be like, okay, I need to take a step back and stop being me and just be normal people and be like, oh, but like, I don't know. Like, I want to be like, ruins it a little. I still love it, don't get me wrong, but it's like, you can just take that out. Just take that out. Cages, fine. Babies, no. That is how you piss Spacey off playing games, is like, throw babies at me. Like, nah, not here for that. Anyway. My mother's looking after him, and no one's more dependable than Fujita when it comes to caring for children. Ugh, you're missing the point! Again! Why did I choose to leave my 2-year-old son behind and go to this island with my ridiculous husband? This is a nightmare! Hey, come on, don't say that. Think of it as our second honeymoon. I don't need a honeymoon like this! Shoulders sagged, Spacey moves to sit down in the corner of the tent and hug her knees. Her beloved 2-year-old son must be crying right now, missing his mother. Probably not, he's climbing trees having a blast. Why must she leave her baby boy to accompany her husband? In Hideo's mind, though, the question probably isn't even worth answering. They bicker all the time. There's nothing new about that. But Hideo still is madly in love with Spacey as ever. So abnormally in love, in fact, that he was willing to transfer the responsibility of raising their child from Spacey to his own mother just so she could come with him. It's kind of cute, though. He's like, nah, I'm not leaving you with my kid. You're coming with me. Like, are you jealous of our child? That's kind of cute. Come on, cheer up, Spacey. I'm not sulking. It's fine. I get it. Now I have to be patient. And do you resent it? Being with me? No, of course not. The sorrowful tinge in Hideo's voice quickly makes Spacey backpedal. She scoots over to him and hugs him inside the narrow tent. That's not the problem at all. I'm sorry. Being with you makes me happy, Hideo. I'm not lying. But I guess I am tired of this new lifestyle. Then again, I should have realized that everything here is new for you, too. Sorry. No, your reaction is only normal. You don't have to apologize. It's just, I can't bear to be away from you. Sorry for always forcing you to tag along. That's kind of fucking cute. I love it. I love how needy you are. I'm into it. Like, oh god. But a life without you is like living without air. I can't even focus on my research. I know you're not happy about having to follow me wherever I go, but I just can't live without you. Of course, I know. I get it. It's kind of like how desperate Fujita was for us, but slightly, like, less pathetic, if you think about it. But then again, that was Fujita's, like, bad ending. But, like, you know, but it's like, there's still that, like, you're kind of needy and you're in that, like, range where most people be like, oh, you're pathetic, you can't do anything without your wife. It's like, but I like that. I like that quality. No, be desperately in love with me like that. That's cool. It might get a little annoying every once in a while, but I'll deal with it. You know? Spacey gently runs her fingers over Hideo's hair. She stares at his clear eyes behind his glasses and hops out an amused laugh. You're much more of a handful than a baby, do you know that? Our son barely even cries at night, but look at his father. Such a big, spoiled baby. Yeah, I don't think I can survive a moment without you by my side. Such a helpless man. She could feel the air around them shifting, growing into a thick fog of desire. See, that's the thing. Everyone's like, oh my god, they bicker. And they're like, "Ah, fuck, they're gonna bicker again." Wait, your researcher and his wife argue? Yeah, it's not the arguing that gets to us. It's the crazy makeup sex afterward that we can hear the next tent over, and it's like, listen, the arguing I can handle, but listening to them go at it like monkeys is crazy. You know what I mean? I'm just saying. Stacy's cheeks grow warm in anticipation of what's coming. Mine too. Hideo wraps his arms around her to pull her close and whispers in her ear. Oh, I was like hoping to CG, but no. And can we do it again tonight? I don't even need to ask. Really? Because we kept telling Fujita we couldn't handle it like every night. Like, Hideo fixes his gaze on Spacey and takes off his glasses. No, put them back on! He puts out the lantern and they embrace each other, entwining their limbs in the darkness. Their lips are occupied with fiery kisses and their tongues in a passionate dance. They make love every night, and Spacey does find it a little strange. They have a child. They're certainly not a newly married couple, and they seem to have become so used to being spouses. Hideo was once a fastidious soldier. She wonders where all of his shyness from those days went. I still want him to be a little shy and awkward, but like, this is intense. Like, I'm okay for the hot, intense version of him, too. Aww. Look, I still want his glasses on, but it's still pretty CG. She looks a little weird. There's slightly goofiness in her, but like, he's beautiful, so that's all that matters. Hale, you've changed a lot. Huh? Where did that come from? Nothing. It just occurred to me how much you've changed. Really? Which parts of me? Everything. Everything, huh? I guess that's great. Hideo chuckles. See, that's a perfect example. Perfect example. A few years ago, you wouldn't have laughed. You would have gotten angry at me. Was I that bad? I can't remember how I used to act. He would be mad because he was in love with you, and he was probably thinking that you, like, giggling at him was like, "You're insulting me and you don't love me." Like, you know what I mean? Insecurity and awkwardness. But now he knows that we love him, so he's like, I can laugh at that. I get it. You know? I love you for who you are today, Hideo. And I kind of miss the old you, too. You're hopeless. Do you want to know what I think? I think you haven't changed. Are you sure? I think I've changed quite a lot. I got married and I gave birth to a child. And yet you haven't changed that much. And your ability to stay the same over time is just so you. Is that a compliment? Obviously. In case you've forgotten, I love you for who you are today. And then again, I am confident that I can love you no matter how much you change. Sheesh, you're smooth, Hideo. I know, right? Hideo looks like he can barely contain his love for Spacey and showers her face with kisses. That's kind of. I'm sorry, I'm just saying. Who doesn't want a man who can barely contain their love for you? You know, except for what's like, oh my god, simmer down. He snuggles up to her bosom like an infant, like an infant indeed, bringing a smile to her face. You're just like a child. Yeah, men don't grow up, remember? Very funny. Oh, I wonder what our son is doing right now. Way to kill the mood, girl. Jesus. You'll get to see him. You'll get to see him again once we get home. But for now, just focus on me. I'm right here. Sheesh, childish and selfish, aren't you? I'm with him though. Focus on him. Forget the kid. Look at this goddamn hot man that you married. Stop thinking about the damn kid. Don't ruin it for me. Why is she trying to cock block me like this? I just want to always be your number one. To make sure you wouldn't so much as look at other people, I'd take you somewhere you and I are the only occupants. Somewhere even further than this place. Well, you should have wrapped it then before you tapped it, Hideo, because now we got a kid, so you can't always be number one, and you can't whisk me away someplace where it's just the two of us and abandon our child like that. Like, God, I don't want kids, and even I know that's wrong, buddy. Wait a minute. I think I've heard that line before. She feels like she's heard something similar tumbling out of Hideo's mouth before. Going to a place that isn't here. Somewhere far away. Oh, I remember now. Her birthday. Remember the evening of my birthday party, Hideo? You told me you'd help me escape, pull me by the hand and take me somewhere. I'm amazed you remember something I said that far back. She does feel like it was ages ago that he said those words to her. It was a few years. In reality, though, okay, right here. It's only been a few years since then. Well, look at us now. We're not here to escape from anything, but we are somewhere far from the mainland. Your wish came true. You did tell me that you wanted me to take you away. Did. Back then, I did wish I could go somewhere else. But everything changed that night. She was trapped inside the manor, unable to get out of the premises, let alone leave for a faraway place. By some miracle, Hideo rushed to her rescue, and here she is now, on an island far in the south of mainland Japan. Recalling what they both went through, days they have spent on this island feel unreal. Daydreams. That scares Spacey. What if the life she's leading now, the one that she's arrived at after a long and winding road, is just a dream? What if, when she wakes up, she'll find herself in her old bedroom in the manor? In the bad ending! Yeah. What if those days of turns and twists are just fractions of a long dream? What if nothing's changed and she's still trapped inside her family's manor? Seriously, I feel like this is what happens when you're in like a really great dream. Like, and you're like having, and then you wake up and you're like, fuck! And then you just feel disappointed because you woke up. Because you're like, man, that dream was so much better than reality. What the balls? You know what I mean? Like, you're like, oh, my dream was so good. And you just feel so depressed because you can't go back there. You know? You don't have this thought process, but this feeling is what happens when you wake up and you're like, oh, like all of this happens in that second as you're waking up and you're like, ah, fuck. You know? I get it. What if, when she wakes up, she finds blossoms of Chinese bellflowers around her? Hey, Hideo, I'm here, right? You are. Yes, you are. It's not all one big dream. I married you and we had a child. I'm here with you now. Right, Hideo? Stop mentioning the kid because you keep taking me out of it. Right. And this isn't a dream. Hideo pulls Spacey in for a tight embrace. You feel my warmth. Yes. Hug me tighter. This tight? Tighter. Hold me closer. Make me feel that this isn't a dream. I think that's just the invitation he's been waiting for. Spacey. It's weird, huh? I'm anxious all of a sudden. You dolt. I was recalling the past, taking your soul back to those days. Don't you think the life we have here is too realistic to be a dream? Yeah, if we argue, that's the realism. He has a point. They're inside a tent, deep in the jungle where the birds never cease to chirp and sing. Okay, aside from the tent in the jungle part, but the birds never ceasing to chirp and sing sounds pleasant and great. I deal with that most of the day. Well, every once in a while, the one downstairs, because he's not with me right now, will start screaming, and that's annoying. But the little bird likes to chirp and sing, and it's quite nice. They're in a place where once the sun goes down, the area will be engulfed in total darkness. No streetlights, no lamps, nothing. And the most compelling evidence is the sweltering heat, humidity, and the strong stench of the vegetation around them. You're absolutely right. If I were dreaming, I'd rather be in a dream where I could have a fancy lifestyle in a castle somewhere in Europe. Oh, come on. This place is breathtaking. You can stuff yourself with as much fruit and fish as you want. The landscape is wonderful. Better yet, we're free. Yeah, I get it. We've got plants, animals, more plants, and then even more animals. I get it perfectly. And that's all we need. We get to see birds we couldn't even hope to encounter in mainland Japan. See, but I do love the bird nerd in him. Ugh. Dale, I think you can survive just fine as long as you can have birds around you. And that's not true. I need you. Dale refutes the claim with a straight face. Anywhere's paradise when I'm with you. Oh? Flattered. Told you I can't live without you. I don't need anything else if I have you. You're such a flatterer. Works. Oh, hi. Yes, Cece. I'm just saying, though, like, he does have good lines. They stare into each other's eyes and smile before leaning forward to press their lips together. I feel like Fujita had some good lines. They all have good lines. Like, people who wrote this, like, A+ in the lines. A gentle kiss that expresses their desire to cherish each other. Hideo hugs Spacey close and whispers softly in her ear, I feel like I've been able to talk with you about a lot of things. Trivial things, really, ever since we came to this island. And that makes me really happy. The nights are indeed long. Once the sun goes down, there's barely anything else they can do other than sleeping, since the land has no electricity. Life here is such a huge contrast to the hectic days in mainland Japan. Although not having much to do is boring, the moments that they get to spend together here are indeed precious. The nights are long, but that gives you more time to. Never mind. And after a while, you're like, God, I'm exhausted. We're going to have 4 kids before we leave here if we keep this up. Spacey and Hideo take their time enjoying themselves inside the tent until the sun rises again. That's what I was saying. Hideo gradually becomes more relaxed, and he starts talking about various things. She loves spending these moments with him as much as he does. He's right. This is paradise. Spacey's never felt as close to Hideo as she does now, in the darkness and lukewarm air. She revels in his honest feelings, sweet lips, and their tender night together. That was just a quick way to say time flows slowly and comfortably between them. Their breathing gradually evens out, allowing them to hear more of the rustle of the trees and noises made by little animals outside the tent. These things remind her, even more strongly now that the sun isn't out, that they're not in mainland Japan. Aww. Beautiful afterglow CGs. New bird species you've been looking for might be nocturnal, Spacey says out of the blue. Yeah, and that's possible. And night studies are difficult, but there's just no way we can observe nocturnal animals during the day. You were a bird, Hideo. Would you be nocturnal? That was random. Well, you often compare me to a bird, but what about you? You've never once likened yourself to one, Hideo. You're right. I never even thought about it. Well, you know what? That also, he always, him likening us to a bird, but he's obsessed with birds and us. So, I wouldn't complain about it. Hideo falls quiet, thinking, and eventually groans. Maybe you're right. I'd be a nocturnal bird because I don't have the best eyesight. I know some nocturnal birds rely on their vision, but most of them don't. And then again, I think the term nocturnal fits Mizuhito better. Tell me about it. It's as you said, though, Hideo. I do think that if my brother were a bird, he'd be nocturnal. Casey's eyes crinkle fondly at the nostalgia of her brother, who is still in mainland Japan. Wow, I can't read. Even after her marriage, Mizuhito hasn't changed a thing about his lifestyle. And that won't bode well for the Nomiya household, even though they're financially out of the woods now thanks to the assistance of the Ozaki family. Still worried about him. That he'd finally be serious about life after I got married. No, now he's even more depressed because you're not married to him. She looks really beautiful in this CG, by the way. So does he, but we look really pretty. I think he's acting like this because you got married. What? No, nothing. See, even Hideo was pegging it your brother kind of wanted to bone you. Hideo trails off and lapses into silence. Macy falls quiet too, straining her ears. Then a bizarre-sounding chirp breaks the silence. Oh my god, it's our bird! It's a high-pitched trill, like a metallic clink. Did you hear that? Could it be the new bird species? I don't know. Maybe. Get the fuck dressed! Get your pants on and get out there and find it so we can go home! But also, we got to bone you, and now we get to go look at birds. This is great. Birds and boning. Not boning with birds, because that's gross and inappropriate. Don't do that. That's wrong. But, we're so close and yet so far. Kind of frustrating, isn't it? That's just it. Birds and humans naturally live in different places. Clearly does not live in my house. Birds can soar freely through the sky, and some cultures even worship them for it. Humanity has always yearned after birds. That explains my weird thing. We, been having a lot of, early work calls and, doing all this planning stuff. And so we had a little, fun icebreaker thing where, the woman who leads the calls is I'm going to ask a little questions. Do you prefer this or this? And the first question was cats or dogs, and I'm like, birds. Come on! Yeah, birds. It's a dumb answer. Stupid question, cats or dogs? The answer is birds, obviously. So, like, you know, I can't even answer, like, a simple A or B question without throwing C in there, you know? C being birds. And that's why I'm as happy as I can be right now. I make a living through chasing after them, and I've gotten my hands on the bird I've been longing for. See, right there, that's what I said earlier. Now, you really have changed a lot. You're like someone else compared to before we got married. Really? Have I really changed that much? You have. You used to be colder, more expressionless, and sarcastic. But now you're so honest, Hideo. It's like how you used to be when we were kids. Then, maybe I haven't changed. I've just gone back to how I was originally. Yeah, you might be right. I feel like the cold, expressionless, emotional was like when he starts to feel something for you and then finds out your family didn't think he was good enough, and then it's like, turn it off. Like, you know what I mean? That's a mask that you put on a wall to try to protect yourself because you loved someone that your family didn't think you were good enough for them, and you were like, obviously can't be with them. You know what I mean? Like, it explains a lot. Memories of those days flood into her mind. Of the time when she and Hideo were just childhood friends, no discord separating their families. Of the time when everyone in her family was alive and happy. Memories sadden Spacey, albeit just a little bit. The Nomiya and Ozaki families were once close, but somewhere along the way her mother began to look down on the Ozaki family, and they, perhaps in return, tried to distance themselves from the Nomiya family. How did it happen? Was it really caused only by their different backgrounds? By the way, did you know that your parents once gave me a mounted mandarin duck for my birthday? They did? Yeah. They knew I can get very enthusiastic about birds. It was really gorgeous, all secured in a glass box. Hideo looks up at the ceiling, reminiscing about the past, and chuckles. And I may or may not have scared your mother. What do you mean? I was genuinely fond of birds, and although I was never open about my feelings for you with you, I didn't exactly make an effort to hide the fact that I was into you from the adults. So I told your mother, I want to create a taxidermy mount of Spacey and decorate my room with it. I can understand why maybe my mother was scared and disturbed by you. I get the intention behind that. Because okay. I get your intention behind that, Hideo, but I feel like if you said that to anyone, it's like, I'm not sure if you think that's sweet and it's just, you don't realize that it's creepy, or like, you're a serial killer and you fully get how creepy it is. You know what I mean? What? She inches away from him, a cold shiver running down her spine. Just FYI, Hideo, when we die, cremate me. Please do not stuff me. She wonders how her neurotic mother reacted to the proposition when it came to an innocent-looking child. It was a small, odd comment from a child, but what if that was enough to offend my mother? I had a book of animal anatomy back then, and I shared my idea with your mother after I read the book. I wish you could have seen her pale face. I think anyone would have reacted like that. I mean, for fucking real. Hideo's idea must have led her mother to believe that Hideo was an abnormal child. And maybe that was when Shigeko swore to herself to never let this deranged child be her daughter's husband. When their families began talking about arranging a marriage between Spacey and Hideo, the first emotion our mother felt then might have been fear. Still, bringing up social status and background as an excuse to cover her fear sounds just like something Shigeko would do. Of course, she must have always thought of the Ozaki family as the inferior one. That's why she was able to rattle off terrible insults about them. The true reason underlying those insults was probably Hideo's idea as a child. In other words, he was the reason their families drifted apart. But it's like, I get it. You would probably be like, not sure if you don't realize how inappropriate that is, or you are a serial killer in the making. It's a toss-up. And I can understand her being horrified, but I feel like maybe you need to take a step back and go, are you just a kid? Like, again, you know what I mean? Kids say things sometimes and you're like, serial killer or just child who doesn't get it? You know? Like, you could play a game. Like, you could probably find creepy things kids have said and play child or serial killer, you know, and just be like, which one did a serial killer say and which one was actually a kid who didn't get that it was creepy, you know? So, yeah, I can understand taking a step back and watching and realizing, like, okay, maybe he's not a serial killer in the... Okay, fine. Probably, all right, we're fine. He was just a kid and didn't get it, you know? So her mother was being a little bit of a bitch in that scenario. You know, I think you might be to blame for the fact that we had to take such a long road before we could get together, Hideo. Huh? It wasn't my fault. Just something you did in the past. Forget it. I would have been like, you told my mom you wanted to stuff and mount me. Like, that sounds disturbing. Hideo's baffling confession about the idea he expressed as a child has, strangely, answered certain things in regards to the two families' bad blood Spacey wasn't quite clear about. It's kind of fucking funny, though. In the end, it sure looks like Spacey's life has been at the mercy of Birds and Hideo. The two have worked together wonderfully well to lead her by the nose, starting from their childhood. Peter, what's going on? Anyway, their marriage and how even after they had a child together, and now even after they had a child together, well. Then again, without his zealous passion toward Birds, Hideo might still be in the army right now. She isn't sure if she should be thankful that birds exist or gripe about their existence instead. Always be thankful that birds exist. Birds exist. Birds are real, guys. They are not government drones spying on you, whatever. I love the birds aren't real subreddits. I really do. I actually also love the fact that there's people who are like, these people know that birds... Wait, are they... And like actually question if the people in these subreddits legitimately actually think birds aren't real. Like, it's gotten to the point where, like, people question your sanity when you're like, no, you don't get that it's funny, right? Anyway. Every time I cover up the tiny bird, okay, because he likes to sit on one perch, and it faces, and he looks out the window, but the window in my house, there's like a narrow, it's not really an alleyway, it's a little grassway, but it's like just a narrow space between my townhouse and then the people next to me that are on that end. You know? So the dining room kind of windows look into each other. Not that, like, if you look, you could see anything in there. Sometimes if the woman was sitting in a chair, she must have a desk there or something. Like, I could see a person sitting there, but, like, it's not like if I look in the window, I can see into their house or they can really see into mine. You know? But the little bird likes to sit there and, like, stare out the window. So when I cover him up at night, or I close the blinds, like when it gets darker, I start close the blinds. I'm like, all right, you can't stare at you can't stare at the neighbors anymore. You have to tell your FBI agent that it's no more spying on the neighbors. You can't like report on them anymore. You know, because he's a little government spy drone. That's why Neelix is always with me, because he's a government spy drone and he needs to keep tabs on me all the time. That's why he shrieks when he's downstairs. Because I'm only allowed to be off his radar for a short period of time. Otherwise, the FBI gets mad. I mean, if you were really a crazy conspiracy theorist, right? With the birds, it's like, well, that's why birds follow you. He's malfunctioning right now because he's not shrieking. Actually, I'm happy because quiet and, like, obviously probably taking birdie nap times and it's fine because he's not shrieking for me. Oh, but anyway, never gripe about birds' existences. That's silly. Hey, Hideo? Hideo? Oh, he's sleepy. Oh, look at... God, she... Again, see, in that one CG, she looks a little weird, but most of the time she looks beautiful like this. It's crazy. I like it. I just, you know. Spacey looks down to see that Hideo is already fast asleep against her bosom. I don't think you wrote this with the proper, like... You know, like, because that's not how the CG's arranged. But also, can we just talk about the fact that his hand is, like, wrapped around our, like, in our hair? Like, holding our head and holding it against him, and he's also holding her hand on his chest? Like, can we just appreciate the hand placement? I'm just saying, like, someone just holding his head. Like, ah. Anyway. So, we didn't look down, we looked up. Just when did he... Although Hideo is back to how he once was, his selfishness, the part about him that moves to the beat of his own drum, never once changed. He was an unusual child who would come up with the craziest of ideas, like making a taxidermy mount of her. What's learned in the cradle is carried to the grave indeed. So selfish. Mitzi. Don't go. Stay. No. Here. Macy gently runs her fingers through Hideo's hair while listening to his rhythmic breathing. She truly feels happy. Knows it, too, with every fiber of her being. That's the goal in life, isn't it? In a sense, she must be gravely lovesick, too, considering the fact that she always ends up following Hideo anyway, even to this remote location. The thoughts flit through her mind, lulling her to sleep, bit by bit. The calming darkness of the foreign island engulfs the slumbering couple like a blanket. Before sleep claims her completely, she thinks she hears the bird that no one's ever seen before, chirping in the depths of the jungle. And if you don't start doing night escapade, like, whatever, we're never gonna find that fucking bird. Was that actually it? Wow! Shorter than I thought it was gonna be. Like 30 minutes. But that's okay. So, I mean, he's gonna end up being maybe a slightly extra part than most, but like, you know. Time to look at now we get to look at all the CDs. Wait, is this the game that we can't like flip through them? God, I hate that. Our first Hideo CG when he first showed up. I love it. Listen, this is the one child. Okay, not the one, but like, this is one of the childhood friends that I'm here for. 100 fucking %. I adore our glasses wearing bird nerd. See, all you had to do to make the childhood friends appeal to me is slap glasses on them. Just, that's it. You know? Look at him. Just so hot in uniform. Oh, precious. This was good. I enjoyed it. I mean, like, okay. Like, that's a fucking shock. Not just because Glass's character, obviously. And Bird Nerd. Whatever. But I've just seriously enjoyed this game. He is absolutely stunning in this CG. There is just something about, like, his eyes just glowing. In most of the other ones, his eye, like, it's changed. Sometimes they seem like a grayish color. Sometimes they seem blue. And this, they are, like, glowing, like, seafoam green. Like, just neon. It's, like, crazy. But I'm into it. Like, it's just gorgeous. Like, the whole thing. Her goofy hair. I know it's the style, but it just makes her head look huge. It's so funny. But, like, ugh. I love it. Yeah. I mean, again, I think he was the one that attracted me in from the beginning in the game. Was like, Glasses character. Ding, ding. That's you, sir. Like, always into the Glasses character. Bird Nerd absolutely helps. But as far as like story and routes go, like, I mean, I've enjoyed it. Of course I fucking have. This whole game has been just a merry joyride. Like, we have had a great goddamn time. Look at him bird nerding out here. That was just zooming. But there's a bird behind him, so, you know. I actually like this CG because it's a little goofy. Like, there's the seriousness, but also a goofiness to it. Like, I don't know. Punching that guy. Or insulting us! Aw. This would be the perfect CG if he wasn't banged up, because it's like, Glasses nerd with a bird. Just everything I could ever ask for. You know. And now he's giving us bedroom eyes, and has a bird. Hi. Anyway, but yeah, no, I can't complain about any. I love our awkward photo. This is the most awkward CG, but I love it because it's supposed to be. Oh wait, why didn't it? Oh, okay. I saw one of two, so that must be in a bad ending. We get another version of that one. Okay. I saw for some reason one of two, and I was like, why can't I get the second one? Obviously, because it's not two of two. Because I'm not smart right now. But oh, first kiss by the so much better and less disjointing if it let you left or right click through them. You know what I mean? Instead of having to go back every time. And like, look at him here, so handsome. Beautiful, staring off into the sunset. Like, God. That one's actually really pretty. They're very tiny in the background, but I like the way the glow is around them. Like the sunset glow, but it's like glowing around them. It's not just like around. You know what? It's not circular. You know what I mean? Like the sun would be circular, but instead it's like this halo effect around their body. It's just lovely. I like it. Heavenly. Oh, here we go. Getting frisky. Oh. Good times. We had some great times here, didn't we? Oh, look at how many CGs we're missing. So many. Oh, is this where you take off your glasses? Like, I prefer them on. He's still beautiful without them. I mean, he is beautiful with and without them. Like, either way, like, good job. But, you know, although, like, God, it does hit different in this CG. Like, you know, there's something, like, adorable kind of about him, even when he's, like, being beautiful and handsome. You know what I mean? You're like, because he's the childhood friend, so cute. But then here you're like, it's like you're a whole different person. It's like you aged 5 years, but, like, in a great way. You know what I mean? Like, it's just level. Now he's mad because I said that now, but like, just kidding. Oh, but yeah, so I don't know which CG is like, they're all like, there's so many good ones. Like, that's beautiful. But you know, my favorite one, I think, seriously. Oh, God, I skipped that one a little fast. That's okay. Like, he looks so precious here. She looks a little goofy. Usually she looks really beautiful. This one is a little awkward. But he looks so good. And that's the most important part. Okay, she looks better, so, like, kind of here. There is something proportionally off. You know what I mean? It kind of looks like she was pulled from, like, a different anime or something. You know what I mean? Like, but, like, she always looks really good in CGs. For the most part. Like, 98% of the time. Which is kind of hard to do. Like, you know me if you've been around for a while. Like, most of the time, the main characters always have eyes that are way too big, and it gets like, and you're like, that's disturbing. Why? You know? So when they look like, yes, she's got big eyes, but they're proportionally done well. You know what I mean? They're not like, they work. And like, look at this. We're beautiful. Look at her eyes here. Like, they're big eyes, but they fit on her face somehow still. You know? It's not like, oh, it's disjointing to me. I guess because I'm used to the big eyes, but like, there's a point where you're like, a slightly bigger than this, and it'd be like, the fuck, they're melting off her face. But this, you're like, they're giant, but they work. Can't explain it. I'm not gonna lie, like, CG, but he's not wearing his glasses. But like, look at just how, just, and shirtless. Like, stop it. You come for this shit, don't you? Is this why you're here? Because, like, why I'm gonna be wildly inappropriate? I'm not gonna lie, like, she looks kind of goofy, but, like, he is just so stunning in this one for some reason. Like, just, I think it's the glowing eyes. There's just something about this that's, like, that's adorable. Oh, he looks, and now he's blushing. Like, they're adorable. Look at how adorable that is. Although the romancy CG, my problem with those, the sexy ones, God, I love those, but you're not wearing your glasses, man, and we need the glasses. And like, you know, I don't know. They're all so good. Like, but like, you know, this one. You know what though? Maybe this one. Even though I love the other one, I love the glowing eyes. But do you see how they were green and here they look more gray? But you know what? There is something beautiful about this, even though it's kind of somber. It's so hard to choose, guys. It really is. Because, like, you know, these ones are good. This one is so good. So hot. But, like, no glasses. Do we do this? Does it? I feel like just put the glasses back on. That's all I'm saying. Because this one is such a beautiful CG and it's sexy, but like, because we sweaty and panting because shit just. I don't know. I don't know which CG because like some of them my favorite one, like that one's beautiful, but it's like there's no glasses. And like you need the glasses. And like unfortunately the bird one would right be up there with my favorite. But like you're all beat up and that kind of takes away. This one you got a bloody sword, but it's still sexy. And like, our first introduction, your angry face. I really do honestly think he looks like ridiculously beautiful in this one. I'm trying to look at her face too. Her face is a little. It's just which version of this woman. Like, I can't decide. Oh, he looks sad that we're gonna leave. The blushing is adorable. You know what it is? It's like I kind of almost wish he had a little bit of a smirk, so he didn't look angry. But the intensity in the eyes too is there. So you know what? It's gonna be this one, even though the afterglow CG is quite lovely. He's not wearing the glasses, and the glasses are what steal my heart away. Like, you are a sexy man right now after everything we just did, but I'm gonna need you to put your glasses back on for the CG. And I'm disappointed that she made you take your glasses off because the glasses stay on during sex, goddammit. But you know what, actually? I don't know. It's just, we'll see what happens in the bad endings with the other CGs we get. Because maybe we'll use the Afterglow CG at the end of that. You know what I mean? If there's not like a really other good one. With glasses on. We'll do that. But like, the glasses on. Come on. This is how we know him. A little stuffy, a little cold, a little angry in the eyes. Glasses. Sexy. So. Anyway. That was all of Hideo's route. We're going to do the bad endings next time. Start them. Probably take 2 parts because they might be long. I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.